South Africa grapples with the implementation of a just transition. Terragrn, a multinational company focused on transforming degraded and underutilized landscapes into sustainable biodiverse and carbon-sequestering agroforests, says they might have solutions. They're bringing these solutions to the coal mining region of Mpumalanga, launching next week. They say the project will impact areas of climate change, food insecurity, energy crisis solutions, and socioeconomic disparity. Roy Masamba is the co-founder of Terragrn and joins us now via Zoom. A very good morning to you, sir, and thank you for making the time.
Good morning. Good morning to your viewers, and thank you for having me.
It literally sounds like you're wanting to solve all of South Africa's socioeconomic problems. Just how is this a game changer?
Yeah, I think we have to think and dream big on this. And I think we do realize that trying to solve one problem at a time, when all the problems of energy, food, security, and social development are actually interconnected, is not a holistic solution. So what we're bringing is a blueprint that addresses ecology, people, prosperity, and planet challenges in a holistic manner, where we're combining various technical experts as well as partners to solve this in a holistic manner, coming out of which will be a blueprint that we believe can be exported elsewhere or implemented in other regions in South Africa.
We're using very technical terms just for the benefit of our viewers. Give us a picture of what it is exactly that you'll be doing in Mpumalanga that you're launching next week.
So in Mpumalanga, we're working closely with a community that shares our vision. And what we'll be doing is actually planting and developing an agroforest. An agroforest, which means it is a forest that is constituted of indigenous trees, constituted of certain food crops that are complementary, but also has bamboo as a big component of it. And bamboo, specifically because it is a versatile plant that grows very quickly, does not require replanting, can be harvested sustainably to produce biomass, which in itself can be used in energy and support the just transition, as you just mentioned. We'll be employing thousands of employees in the region. We'll also be using downstream industries to support the ecosystem of development that we do using, as well as producing food crops and actually creating a biodiverse environment that will attract certain species that had actually disappeared from the region. And doing this in Mpumalanga, which is a region that, as you know, is the coal heartland of South Africa, where just transition may actually see job losses, we are providing a catchment that will be able to provide alternative employment while actually rehabilitating previously degraded lands to something that is useful and can actually provide generational wealth for the communities. And we actually bring in the communities right from the onset, and they will be shareholders in the effort that we're making so that it passes on from generation to generation. And that's how we believe, as a blueprint, this is something that can be cascaded across South Africa and other parts of Africa as part of our mission and purpose.
You have to plant 200 million plants and trees to achieve your goals. Are you starting from scratch, or are you taking over existing forests?
We're taking over degraded land that hasn't been used for the past 10, 20 years. It was previously commercial farms under the title of the Traditional Council that we're working with. We've kicked off phase 1, which in itself will see the planting of various experimental grids that will help us refine the model as we go forward. So it will be a phased approach over the next 7 to 10 years, where we'll be incorporating various plots of land each year in tens of thousands, and planting the bamboo, the indigenous trees, and the relevant cash and food crops that will form part of this ecosystem. So definitely it is a phased approach. We've done the designs of the agroforest to take care of nitrogen fixing, to take care of carbon sequestration, to take care of the kind of food crops that will coexist with the bamboo and the indigenous trees to provide a solution to the food crisis. So it is a phased approach that we're taking and learning as we go and refining as we go, documenting everything in the process, including the impact on the sustainable development goals that have been pronounced by the United Nations.
So I know you call them landscapes, but in South Africa, land is an emotive issue. How did you negotiate which land to use and issues of ownership?
Right. I think at the heart of this is the community involvement. So we went to the grassroots and identified and to work with the Manala Mgibe Traditional Council, who really shared the vision and promised us that over the course of the project, they will be able to provide the various pockets of landscape and land that they are under their title to work on this. If you have the government support like we do, we have the departments that are relevant to our project. We've got partners like Weber Wenzel, Zutari, Jakana working with us to make sure that the ecosystem in itself provides security for the land that we're using. The benefits to the community in itself is the biggest security to the land tenure and the project itself, and we've got them on board right from the onset, and I think that's how we'll secure the land tenure. Obviously, all the legal documents have been done and executed, and we'll continue to make sure that that provides the backdrop for any, we don't foresee any challenges in terms of the land tenure, but certainly it is the benefit to the community that in itself is the security.
Again, I'm going to ask you to simplify things for us. You talk about local and international customers benefiting from around 10 million tons of sustainably harvested biomass. At the end of the process, what product is the customer getting?
Okay. As far as biomass is concerned, one of the things about bamboo, which is the main crop that we will use for biomass, is that once you plant bamboo, it grows for 60 to 120 years and without need for any replanting. We're planting a clumping variety which doesn't run, so it's not invasive. And what we'll do every year is harvest 25 to 30% of that clump. And within 9 to 12 months, whatever you've harvested will have grown to full height. So that way you continue to sequester carbon dioxide, but at the same time harvesting sustainably the clump to make sure that you have it for the 60 to 120 years I mentioned. What will produce from the harvested bamboo is pellets or even bamboo chips. And these are the inputs into whether it's industrial boilers, to substitute some part of coal in coal-fired power stations. And that's why this is seen as a part of the journey to transition from coal in some of our external customers, as well as local customers who want to produce off-grid solutions.
So at a time when energy is a big conversation, what sort of buy-in have you gotten from government, from those communities, and from competition, the people who are, as you say, in the coal business, who are looking to transition?
Yes, so we've got buy-in from government. We've presented our projects to the highest office of the land. And we've got support. In fact, next week we're meeting some of those officials, and we've met them over the past year or so. We've got buy-in from the departments that are authorizing and giving us the permits to proceed with the project. We've got buy-in from the community right from the onset, where we talk to them about using their land productively. We are not in competition with coal. What we're saying is the just transition itself needs various inputs, whether it's solar, wind, and biomass is what we're providing as an alternative that is one, sustainable, two, is kinder to the environment and climate, and that's how we see ourselves playing a part in the just transition. We will obviously provide alternative employment for those who may transition from the coal industry over time, but we are definitely not head-on with coal. We are substituting and providing broader options to government, locally and abroad, for them to transition to cleaner energies and green economy.
Yeah, it's a bit of a complex conversation, needs more time, which we don't have at this time. But thanks for your time. The conversation has started, and I suppose for now we watch to see what comes out of it. Roy Masamba is the co-founder at Terragrn, talking to us about that agroforest project that they're launching in Mpumalanga.